They're diarrhea, diarrhea full of shit. Just play along, me, myself, and I know what else. So you I'm so legit. There's this video that popped up, as a suggestion. Um, just sort of based on the people that I listen to. I don't really watch these drama channels and shit like that, but the people that I listen to on YouTube usually cover this shit. They cover a wide range of shit. I don't think like Mr. Longhead would cover it or anything, and unless I mean, he might. It just depends on whether or not it's relevant. If somebody has a question or whatever, but one of these streamer dudes, these little twerp, pencil neck, dudes. There's a couple of them out there, and they just these pranksters and stuff, who dump water on people's heads, and I have seen those videos, where they get slapped, and it's all they always act like you're an animal. Dude, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. It's just a prank. It's like, well, you better knock that fucking shit off. Find a different hobby, or way to go for money and or internet clout. But so yeah, the whole fuck around and find out thing, I'm all for it, because I come from a planet, where all the men are Spartan warriors, all the women have hips, eyes, curves, and thighs, know how to wear their panties and please their men. And some of them even go into business for themselves. They're so strong and independent. But most of them just latch on to a dude and ride it out. No, I'm not comparing the Gweed to the men on my planet. Like I said, the Gweed is a reject. The Gweed is a runt. As far as his people. Now he is not a Spartan warrior. That's where I come from. And I've got my faults. Maybe that's why I'm here. I was kicked out. Because I'm only 5'7" instead of 6'7". The Gweed might actually be 6'7". He seems, like I said, I don't remember. I'm not sounding like a weirdo here, but I think Mrs. Butthead was maybe a little on the short side. I don't know what the average. I think the average height for a dude, for a white male, why we are legion, white devil. You look around, what do you see? Mostly white people, depending on the area. Sometimes it ain't. Like I said, I used to drive over the road, and when you find yourself in Alabama, you look around, it's mostly black people. But anyway. But we don't want to trigger my hate horse. Well, fuck him. But anyway, I think it's 5'10", I want to say. And you think, it's like 7, like, gee, 3 inches. That doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It is. It is. It's a huge fucking deal. The 3 inches, to the human eye comes off as 6 inches. It's just the way it is. And I'm guilty of it too. Like, because, I've known that I'm a shorty boy. I've known about this for quite some time now. I do. If I'm out in public and I see some poor bastard who's shorter than me, I have just made myself the bottom line. Yeah, that's why, my future bestie Cool Breeze, he's 5'9", it's like, don't worry about him, man. You're totally cool. And he's, ironically, his girlfriend is like 6 foot tall. It's ridiculous. But I don't know how that happened. And as I said, I would consider him a Sigma male. He just doesn't look it. I consider myself a Sigma male. I just don't play the part. Sigma males don't get no fuck by no bitches. Sigma males, blah, 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 all that shit. Like I said, occasionally you should watch those videos because they are just tripping. But And some of them are more in depth than others. Some of them are just the basic version, you know, worry about, health and fitness and building bank and blah, 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 and all that. And it's like, okay, the basics. But some of them are like, and I'm not joking, some of them are like alpha, sigma males have discovered that if they sleep 4 hours at a time and then get up, and that their most creative time is, blah, blah, blah. And it's just fucking faggot ass fucking Bens and Bryans doing voiceovers and shit. They just pull it out their ass. Maybe they, research shit. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. So he's a reject, like I said, I don't know what's wrong with his physique, it's like, did he just start? Is he wanting to be a fit boy, strong boy, muscular boy? Or has he failed miserably? Or something, because it's like his muscles are droopy and they're just not shaped right. And when I say that, he doesn't really, because I knew that for some reason it's my sixth sense. Again, because I'm such a cuck. Oh, look at that ugly ass butt face. Oh, she met her a boy. Oh, she's living her best. Oh, look. Oh, that's so sweet. Look at the two lovebirds. Hey, everybody, come look at the two lovebirds. They made it. They found love. What everybody seeks, not everybody gets. Bet you they're going to start a family. Better hurry the fuck up. Anyway, but he was wearing like a jacket, and I just knew. It was like a sixth sense. Like, I bet you that guy's, and well, I was sort of right. But, anyway, the other day, the chick at the grocery store, she said that with me. Something like, do you want a bag? And blah, blah, blah. Even though you got the guns. I think she just called me a sexy bitch. That sweet little girl, she's worked there for a minute or two. The one that always wears the masks. And I thought she did that, because of COVID. And then she stopped for a bit, and then she started again, because I found out that the reason she actually wears a mask, it's kind of a double thing, because occasionally you'll see somebody wearing a mask, but the reason she wears a mask is because she bites her fingernails. So she works at a crockery store, so she wears a mask, being, self-governed, responsible person, because she can't keep her fingers out of her mouth. That's cute. So, but yeah, I don't think I've ever had anybody actually comment. Well, I'm not gonna say the G word on YouTube. But anyway, this UFC, this guy, he's an actual boxer. He's one of these little scrappy guys, and he was drunk and overconfident, based on cameras and people, and figured he'd be okay. And he was insulting this bodybuilder's wife, and he went in to go, well, he wasn't insulting, he was like, hey, sexy thing, you sexy thing, you sexy thing. And that's a song. I believe it's I Believe in Miracles, you sexy thing, you sexy thing. So, Katie Boo, you're a good Christian girl. Is that is that a little cross around your neck? Oh, fuck. Like I said, I consider myself a Christian, just a bad one, a lazy one. I've got, like I said, what I'm going to do, read the Bible cover to cover, then read the study version. The problem is there's so many different styles of preachers. There's the bumper sticker kind, the t-shirt kind, there's the fire and brimstone kind. There's the, I got up at 10 o'clock this morning. Oh, sloth, I'm so unworthy. A guy I used to listen to, I don't know if he's still doing his thing. Well, I'm sure he probably is Alistair Begg. He was a Scottish guy. And it's been a while since I've listened to him, but I stumbled across him on the radio. And he seemed like a normal dude. He was like, look, we all got faults, this, that, and the other. We'll always fall short. The way that I figure is, it's heart, deed, motive. You know what I mean? It's like, so do you actually have guilt? Or are you like, fuck it? Like me with my drinking. I do feel guilty about that. I'm taking my body for granted. I'm taking this life for granted because I won the lottery. And again, for my hate whores, this is probably going to piss people off. And for some people, they'd probably be like, yeah, exactly. You should feel guilt. No, I don't feel guilt for the reasons. No. I feel guilt, but not that guilt. That's you destroyer of civilization, worlds, and everything good, holy, and noble. Those people tend to not be Christian. They're not only not Christian, they're anti-Christian, which, the one who is influencing their decision is the father of lies, the prince of darkness, masquerading as an angel of light for those, in the dark. People come up with phrases like, get woke. Maybe you should stop talking. Phrases like, you better be on the right side of history. Bro. Maybe you should stop talking. That's what humans do when they get all huffy puffy, is they just repeat themselves. And logic goes out the window. It's like, you're forgetting something. You keep saying this and he keeps saying that. There's a clear divide that neither one of you is willing to remove. Yes, one of you is right, but you, sir, need to just say this. But no, you weren't charged. You canceled the ride. Instead, you just kept saying, it was an Uber conflict where these dudes tried to pull a fast one where they ordered a ride and then canceled it, and the guy was like, okay. So, well, in that case, I think there should be a system to just charge them, just a little bit or whatever. I don't know. I've never used Uber. I should probably get up to speed on that. I mean, death of the taxi driver, I guess, but, just become an Uber driver. But Uber drivers, it's your own vehicle, and I don't know, man. But anyway, I digress. So this dude, is being a smart ass, and the guy slapped him. And he showed restraint the whole night. Maybe he could have been like, hey, guy, come on, let's be a little bit more respectful. I don't know, I wasn't there. Because there is a fine line. There's a right and wrong way to do things. Maintaining the high ground, showing self-control, is balls shit. Call it Sigma shit, call it alpha shit, call it whatever you want. But you can't let people walk over you. You have to respond. But you can respond verbally. And this dude apparently, so that happened. And then the next night, this other dude, his name was like Tiki Toto Boy or something. It was weird. He was a UFC fighter back in the day. And he was a manager of what was his name? Rampage Jackson. He was a UFC fighter. He was a smart ass with him, and he elbowed him, right? And he was just like, really? And he's kind of like, and he's kind of dropped an F-bomb, I don't like your fucking attitude, that's fine, it's like, you gotta add in just a little bit of sharpness, but at the same time, if you add that sharpness, then it's like you're letting them know that, you're pissing them off. So, what are you gonna do? They're gonna push you. As where if you leave out the F-bomb, because it's a double-edged sword, the cameras are rolling, there's people around, so if you add some sharpness to it, I don't like your fucking attitude, I'll tell you that much right now. And then it's like, oh, what you gonna do? So versus, really, man? I think you've had a little bit too much to drink tonight, partner. And just leave it at that. Don't be like, I think it's cute and all, you're on camera, you feel safe. Don't go into it, because that's a lighter version of the, I don't like your fucking attitude. Now, this might be not making any sense, what I'm spewing here, but I'm not wrong. Human beings, we have a psychology to us. Everybody's basically cut from the same cloth, but everybody has their own unique, qualities as well, if you could call them that. Sometimes they can be considered qualities, other times false annoyances, undesirable traits. But you might be a really swell guy, but you chew your gum loud, like one of those people. I had mentioned the other day, I chew bubble gum, I got you, bro. It's probably like, that's kind of out of left field. No, it's not. I don't know what it is, but maybe they do that, because that's something that they have to do to level out just that ever so tidbit of insecurity. So they got to constantly be gnawing on some shit. Like me, I'm a fidgeter. I have fidgets. Maybe I'll show them for Katie Boo. It's a weird thing that I do. I do have some eccentricities or whatever the word is. I mean, if I'm in public, I can just fidget with like a pin, right? So I'll be like twirling it around in my hand, And it's because that's a form of like nervousness, edginess, anxiousness. That's what that is. Even though I feel completely calm, and whatnot, there's still a little bit of pent up energy, Or it's weird. I'm weird, I mean, I don't know, I'm a chill and relaxed and cool guy. Well, I don't mean cool like cool. I just mean I'm like I'm chill. So, and I'm aware of it too. Like if I'm in public, it's just I'm cool. I don't need to have a pin in my hand or anything like that. We good. But anyway, it is what it is. But so yeah, that would have been the better route. Like dude, okay, I can give you another video if you say so. Just if you say so, not if you say so, pal. Because that's adding just that little extra, tad of antagonism, as where the better way to do that, to handle that, as a Monday morning iPhone wearer, or whatever, is just, okay, whatever. Nice to meet you. Have a good night. If the camera's still there, maybe look at it and be like, okay. Are you with that guy? Whatever. But, and you, unless you're a fucking weasel, because there's going to be cowards and stuff. The emptiest vessels make the most noise. Dude, I would have fucking hit that motherfucker and blah, blah, disrespect me. No, don't worry about them people. The real ones will have just realized that guy commanded that situation. And nobody has to go to prison. See, that's what I'm saying. This 18 minutes in, he just assaulted that guy on camera. And I guess this happened just a little bit ago. So the thing, the details haven't been worked out yet. But, for the rest of us who aren't famous and shit, I've said this before, you know what I mean? Violence kind of isn't really worth it these days. It's not really worth it at all because somebody might come back, that blood pressure spike, adrenaline dump, blood pressure spike, rage, where 2 lives are changed permanently. Somebody could go get a draw weapon, a knife, get it from their glove box, under their seat, the trunk, whatever. It might be a payback later, maybe they know where you work or can find out where you live. It's not hard to find out where somebody lives. You just need their first and last name. There's a lot of public information out there. But anyway, I guess that's all I got to say. Baby. Hey, it's a nice move. And it does, like I said, especially because he's a trained fighter and he's a big, look at that, I believe the word is over exponent or something. I don't even know. But, that was unnecessary. That was not an alpha move. This little twerp. And I get it, the ankle biter can be annoying, and they do. There's like a sense of security. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're twice my size, twice my weight. What, you're going to hit me? But anyway, again, on my planet, shit like that. I was talking about the pranksters, Yeah, you wouldn't do that. So, anyway. So, Mrs. Butthead, your friend, Kleber. In fact, why am I mentioning you? Kleber! Shalea. You'll have to tell me how to pronounce your name. Is it Klee, Shalea, or Clea? There's probably a fourth option, because you're so unique and, whatever, people be. Actually, it's Clea. Oh, well, that was close. $20,000. 2 separate dick face rubbings, 2 separate cum shots, and 2 different styles. Oh, yeah. So, something to think about. You just called me a whore. A $20,000 whore. Well, $10,000 per, sexual act. I'd say you're pretty high end. Well, if you were a player, baller, you wouldn't need to dish out $10,000. Yeah. Well. So, you want to do this, or... I was offering you $10,000 just as a courtesy, like a gift. Like, oh, I don't know, a piece of jewelry. Who's a pretty girl? Get the fuck out of here. Lipstick on a pig. Well, look, it's Mrs. T. Fucking greed, man. Mr. T, all the gold chains. Shit. Fucking clowns. Actually, it seems like I saw a picture of you where you had a necklace with your fucking name on it. Oh, isn't that something? And again, it may have been a gift. Oh, who's my princess? These silly boys. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? It's like an endorphin rush. Oh, he bought me something. He brought me a dead squirrel. But a dead squirrel? Yeah, like the caveman days. Anyway, 22 minutes in. Yeah.